Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to show you how to make amazing homemade alfajores. These are sandwich cookies from South America. I tried them for the first time in Argentina, but I could also find them in Mexico, for example, and also in Peru, if I remember correctly. So these are very famous there, and they are delicious. They are made with dulce de leche in the inside, and the cookie is just so crumbly and I don't know, it's a very different texture from your typical biscuits in the US or in the UK. So let's start with the cookie base. So I'm going to start off by mixing my dry ingredients. So first of all, I use flour. I'm also going to add quite a lot of corn flour. This will give us that crumb, that very crumbly in texture and very light cookie in the end. I'm also adding a very generous pinch of salt and some baking powder. I'm also going to add my vanilla extract, which is in powder form too, and then I'm going to mix everything up. Perfect, now we can move on to the liquid ingredients. I'm first of all going to beat my room temperature butter. And then I'm going to add some icing sugar. You also call that confectioner sugar in the US, for example. And I'm going to beat that well. Then I'm going to add 3 egg yolks. I'm using large eggs, so 3 large egg yolks. And I'm going to mix that once again. Great, it's perfect. So now I'm going to add my dry ingredients and mix well with my spatula. You can definitely use your hands once you are reaching like that dough consistency. It will be way more easy to work that dough. So once that you have that perfect dough consistency and a bowl forms, you can put that in plastic wrap, and then I'm going to let it set in the fridge for about 2 hours. So my dough has chilled in the fridge for 2 hours. It's very crumbly, as you can see, so I'm going to warm it up with my hands on my work surface. You can definitely use a bit of flour if it is too sticky, but it's not the case. And sometimes you even have to use a bit of water just to make it a bit more easy to work with. And so now that I have the perfect dough consistency, I'm going to roll it out on my floured surface. Don't worry if it cracks, you can definitely patch it back together. And I'm going to cut out my cookies. As you can see, the thickness is very thin, so it's not huge cookies that I'm making more on the small size sandwich cookies, kind of like Oreos if you think about it. Nice, so now I can put my cookies on my baking sheet lined with parchment paper, and I'm going to bake my cookies in my oven preheated at 180 degrees Celsius, that's 350 in Fahrenheit, and I'm going to bake them for about 7 to 10 minutes. They are not going to brown on the sides, so don't rely on color when it comes to knowing if your cookies are done. You just have to touch it, and if they feel a bit dryish, you know they are done. Now that all of our cookies are completely cool, we can now make the sandwich cookies, and I'm going to use dulce de leche, and of course it is my recipe. You can find it on my YouTube channel, and I showed you how to make it 2 different ways, so you have many options to do so. If you can find dulce de leche in your local grocery store, obviously you can use it, I won't be mad. But for me, I'm going to use my recipe because it's the best, and I'm going to use a piping bag to make my sandwiches. So you can leave your sandwich cookies plain, but you can also add some coconut on the sides where the dulce de leche appears. That is very traditional, for example, in Argentina, where I ate them for the first time. And you can also cover them with chocolate It's my favorite part. So I'm using dark chocolate that I melted with like a tablespoon of oil just to make it a bit runnier. And then I'm going to put it on top of my sandwich cookies. So as you can see, it is quite easy to make alfajores from scratch. So please make this recipe if you want to impress your friends. Everybody will love them, that is for sure. They are so tasty. You can find a list of ingredients in the description box down below this video, where I share with you also my social media where you can follow me. And I will see you next time for another great sweet recipe. Bye!